the cap and trade. So I was in it early on, and I understand it. And I've traveled all over the world, usually at your expense, and I've seen, that's a joke, also true, and I've been to the South Pole, I've been to Greenland, I've been to the Arctic, and I've seen, my friends, the manifestation of this. And finally, could I just summarize this issue for you very quickly? Suppose that we are wrong about climate change and there's no such thing, but we adapt green technologies. General Electric, the world's largest corporation, 6 years ago said they're going to devote themselves to green technologies. They're still making very good profits, by the way. Suppose that there's no such thing as climate change, and we do these green technologies and we reduce greenhouse gas emissions. All we've done is given our kids a better world and a cleaner world. But suppose we are right and do nothing. Suppose we are right and do nothing. And you see this melting in the ice caps, and you see the small island nations in the Pacific with the water level going higher and higher, and you see violent climate effects, and you see the Alaskan native villages falling into the ocean in the Arctic Circle, and you see these things go on, and you say we got to do something about it. And my friends, I want to tell you that I will enter into global agreements on reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. I will not ask you to shiver in the dark. I will exploit American technology, better light bulbs, conservation, cars that will take you the first 50 miles on a battery, all of the technology that's there today, and we will just give our kids a cleaner world. I will do that for them.
I just want to shake your hand. I've been trying for 2 years. You people, my husband was an officer in the military. He's gone now, but you were so kind to me in Arizona. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God rest him. Yes, sir.
Senator McCain, I just want to tell you that I truly believe you're an admirable American, not only for your service to the country through the Navy, but also in your bipartisanship in Congress. One of the things that I've admired about you is that you're willing to work across party lines with Feingold in Wisconsin and Kennedy with the immigration bill, which, by the way, I thought you were on the right track with your immigration proposals. But one of the things that the polarization in Washington is so bad. What do you think? Is there any inkling that you might have some Democrats in your cabinet?
Yes, sir. First of all, could I mention immigration to you, please? My friends, I learned the lesson when we tried to get immigration reform through, when we said we would secure the borders and have a guest worker program and address the issue of 12 million people who are here illegally. They didn't believe us. There's no trust or confidence in Washington. There's no trust or confidence because of Katrina, because of Iraq, because of spending and corruption. I got the message. We must secure the borders first. We must secure the borders first. I got the message. And that means that after I'm president, the border state governors would have to certify that their borders are secure. But then, my friends, we still need a temporary worker program that works. We still need to address the 12 million people, and we thought we had a good outline and blueprint for that. But people want the border secured first. Now, how do you do anything in Washington, my dear friends? It takes 60 votes in the United States Senate, and they're not 60 members of either party. Yes, I've reached across the aisle. Yes, I have preserved my Republican conservative credentials, but Americans want something done, and they're sick and tired of the gridlock, and they're sick and tired of the partisanship. I know Harry Reid. I came to the House of Representatives with him many years ago. I'll sit across the table from him and I'll say, we're going to fix Social Security and we're going to fix Medicare, and we owe it to the American people, and we're not going to pass it on to that generation of Americans. We're going to do the hard things. My friends, I'll tell you, I promise you I'll reach across the aisle to them, and I'll ask the American people to reach their hand across the aisle to me, and we'll restore trust and confidence in government and address these issues. And I will commit to you that I will do that. Well, you know, the last trip I made here to Iowa, I brought my 95-year-old mother with me. And, she's a remarkable person. I hope you have a chance to see her. Last Christmas, she wanted to drive around France, and so she flew to Paris and tried to rent a car. They told her she was too old, so she bought one and drove around France. Yeah, I feel great. I feel just fine. And frankly, at this time now, here after all this preparation, all of the, all the work and the organization, everything, we're really getting the home stretch now, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting. It's exciting. My friends, I stood 5th from the bottom of my class at the Naval Academy. If my old company officer, Captain Hunt, United States Marine Corps, were here today, he'd say that in America, anything is possible. No, it's so invigorating. And it's an honor. It's an honor that people would take their time out on a very cold morning to come and spend this time with me. It's a great honor, and I will never forget it, and I will never tell you, I will always tell you that win or lose, we will be able to look on this campaign and say, we ran an honorable campaign. And that's what I want my legacy to be. And I thank you.
I would like to know, Senator McCain, there are a lot of people that say, I have a friend that is a hairdresser and she can't afford insurance because she's self-employed and everything. How do you feel that we can take some of these earmarked money and spend on health care or something like that to help get these people who are struggling for uninsured or non-insured?
Thank you, sir. And by the way, Walt Tomenga is here. Walt, thank you, Walt. Thank you for being here. Our representative, Walt Tomenga. Walt, thank you very much. And we thank Walt for being here. Thank you. Dick Johnson, I mentioned here, and Dave Roeder, I mentioned, and Lee Booton, thank you for doing the pledge. Thank you. I think the domestic debate, I think the issue that's going to be paramount in the debate between Republicans and Democrats in the general election will be the issue of health care. The overall aspect of it, the availability and affordability, and whether we're going to mandate that every American have health insurance or not. But the key to it, in my view, and the difference between me and Senator Clinton or Senator Obama or Senator Edwards or anybody else, is that I want to preserve the quality of health care in America. It's the best in the world. And you want to tamper with it and you want to have a big government system, go to Canada and see how you like that one. Go to England and see how you like that one. So I want to get the cost down. There's 10% inflation in Medicare last year. 10%. No system can sustain itself with 10% inflation associated with it. It's double digit, and it's eating us alive, and it gives people less and less affordable health care. I was at a town hall meeting here in Iowa. A guy stood up and said, I love my health insurance policy. I just got a notice that next year my premiums are going up by $800 a year. It's not that the quality, it's the affordability. So we're going to have to do a whole lot of things, including giving people a chance to go across state lines and get their own health insurance. Take on the pharmaceutical companies. Do you know that the Attorney General of this state and the Attorney General of the state of South Carolina have both sued the pharmaceutical companies for overcharges of pharmaceuticals for their Medicaid patients? I don't know if it's true or not, but charges have been brought. Why didn't we know what those costs were to start with? Why did we have to have Attorney General sue? Most importantly, I want to give every family a $5,000 refundable tax credit that they can take any place in America and get the health insurance that they think their family needs. I think we ought to, for the 5 chronic illnesses that consume 75% of healthcare costs, we ought to have an outcome-based payment system. In other words, give a healthcare provider a certain amount of money for a year or so's treatment of one of these patients. Not for every single test, not for every single MRI, not for every single visit. I think there were incentives to bring healthcare costs down. My friends, you know that long-term care is one of the most expensive parts of healthcare in America.